okay, we want to, we would like to have our own TCP client, right? So what is Telnet? Just look at the functionality of Telnet. What is Telnet doing? It's opening a socket connection to the server. We have specified host and port, uses it to create a socket. And then it is doing two things simultaneously. One thing, it is reading on the input stream, the standard input. So it's reading on system.out, waiting for something to come from the keyboard. Anything which comes from the keyboard, I will pass it to the socket's output stream. Same time, another thing which it's doing is it's reading on the socket's input stream. Anything coming from the server, I have to wait there also. There are two places I need to be waiting. Wait for you are reading input from two places. That means you require two threads. One thread to wait on the keyboard. Any input coming from the keyboard, that needs to be sent. Same time, if any input coming from the other side, from the socket, I need to put it on the standard output. Okay, fine. See, earlier when we did the change for converting our echo server into a multi-threaded, we created a class called echoer, okay, which implements runable. Okay, let's generalize that echoer. Okay, we can generalize the echoer and make it such that we will be able to use it in multiple places. Okay, fine. So we are going back and looking at the class called echoer, and we'll see how so many things will open up for us now. Okay, there'll be so many other things we can easily develop from this. Okay, so we have the package called net, and here's the echoer.java. Okay, so what is this echoer doing for us? Yes, it's okay, it keeps a socket, but do we actually work on the socket? Okay, fine. The point here is I actually don't need to keep this. Because what the run method is doing is it's only working on input stream and output stream. Where is the socket coming into picture here? Okay, fine. Now instead of what I have done here, I'll actually make another change. I would like to have a public echoer, okay, which takes, instead of saying socket, since I'm only working on input stream and output stream, it says, okay, you can give me an input stream and you can give me an output stream. Okay, and I'd also like to do one more thing. I want a Boolean parameter whether you would like to get a local echo. Should I display it system.out.print should be done locally or not? Okay. Okay. And here is what we do here. Oh, we have the receiver, and okay, so anyway, this dot receiver is equal to in, this dot transmitter is equal to out. Okay, and oh, we need one local variable for the Boolean value. So we're keeping one local variable, private local echo. Okay. By default, we can make it true. Okay. If not specified, it is true. Okay. Now we overload, since we have this constructor over here, this dot local echo is equal to local echo. Okay. Now, since this constructor is already present, Okay, and maybe we can overload it further and say, okay, if you don't specify the local echo, by default it's anyway going to be true. Okay, don't pass a third parameter, and just overloading the constructor to make it convenient. In comma out comma true. Okay. And then from here again, so now the update will be, so let me now put it as a comment, and the old code is commented out, and the new code is simply saying this with s.get input stream s.get output. See, the signature of the constructor is still there. Find the old signature is still supported, right? Okay, and this constructor, so old code would still work, and we have not made it, it's still compatible with the earlier code, right? But the new code will be able to use these constructors, especially this one. But what's a change in the run method now? Okay, the change in the run method is only related to the local echo. If local echo, but it's a Boolean value, so I'm just putting as in the if statement like this. So if the local echo is set to true, then only we'll give the system.out. Otherwise, we are silent. Okay, so that printing on the you receive the echo server was saying, okay, I'll wait for a character to come. Whatever character comes, I am supposed to send it back. But before I send back, I'm displaying it locally. So that can be optional, displaying locally. You can set it to true or false while creating the object, and then behave accordingly. That condition is same. Unless you get an end of file, keep on doing this. Read the next byte and put it back. But whatever byte you have read, whether to display or not is optional. It is depending on a flag. So local echo is a flag to set that whatever is received, right, by this. So it's like, okay, now what we have done is, this is one runnable, this is an echoer. It works on any input stream and any output stream. It's not saying it has to be from a socket only. That activity, what was the activity done by the echoer? Of course, it was created using a socket in the earlier case. Okay, but by using the socket, what was being used from the socket? Only the input stream and output stream were useful for us. So why not we have a constructor and say, okay, this is the activities for any input stream, any output stream. Let me make it general. It's not that the input stream and output stream has to be of a socket only. Okay, fine. But I'm keeping the old constructor. So if you are using socket, yes, I'll use that socket's input stream and output stream. Yeah. Okay. Achha, you want to see that echo server code? Okay. Okay. No, why I have done it this way, that also you need to understand. Okay, why it was done this way. You want to look at the echo server. Yeah. So here's the echo server. Right? The main is unchanged, but the change was related to that. Steps of creating a new thread. What was it? We got a socket, right? So we waited for a connection. When the connection comes, yes, We just put a message saying, oh, we are connected. And this was just to track, yes, that the things are happening. But then we created a runnable equal. So this code is what has gone into the equal, right? Using the input sim and output sim. Okay. And then create a runnable. This is creating the runnable and the thread. So this is runnable. This is creating the thread and calling the start method. Okay. And after that, going back and looking for the next connection. New and ready runnable is covering ready and running. So that is after this, after start. New is just a new. New is new, and this is runnable. Runnable. Runnable means ready and then running. The new thing is when we use that red dot start. That is a this is no, not this one. Dot start. Dot start means we already created the thread object in the previous slide. So if I test what is the state here, it will be new. Okay, so that new thread is just creating a new state of thread. Yeah. And start is getting it into another. Okay, we can try this. Okay, and same thing, if I try here, it will say this is runnable. Okay. Runnable means ready for run. Yeah. Whether it is alive is okay. Before this, is alive will be false. This is alive means there is a stack. Start creates a stack. Yeah. And once it is over, stack is not there, then it is alive is false. So alive is false initially, and once you say start, it becomes true. And once it has finished the job, it becomes false again. Okay. But anyway, it's not only the echo server that we are interested in. We are also interested in the TCP client. And let's create that TCP client thing. Oh, what is running? I'll terminate this. Okay. And let's compile net backslash. Okay, the echo is working. Okay, now let's create our own TCP client here. And we'll quickly do that. So I'll write the code, right, for a TCP client. Okay, make it part of the package net and import. I'm just java.io.star. Import public class. It's a general purpose TCP client. Okay, and I just straight away write the main method, public static void main, everything in the main. Okay. Okay, first thing is make a connection to the server. How do we make a connection to the server? So, okay, for that, yeah, we take two command line arguments. String host is equal to args of 0. Okay, first command line argument is the host, second command line argument will be the port. So that's equal to integer dot parse int args of 1. Okay, so now use this to create a socket. Right, a client connects by creating the socket. Okay, this is equal to host and port. You know this constructor for the client to make a connection. This is the constructor of socket. Right? So you got a socket. From the socket you have an input stream and output stream. Okay, now what I do here is I'll create, I need two threads. One to read on the standard input. Whatever I read from the standard input should go to the standard output, not standard output, socket's output. Yeah. I read from keyboard, put it on the socket. So put it to the server. Whatever comes from the server, I need to display it. Okay. So reading from keyboard, so I'll say equal E1 is equal to, okay, new equal, and we'll have system.in to read from and write it to s.get output stream. Do you want a local echo true or false? Okay, let's make it false. Okay, if we make it true, right, we are already, whatever we are keying in will be shown to us again. Yeah. Okay, fine. Same way, so this is one runnable, another runnable which I am creating is the other way around, right? This is 2, and here whatever is coming from the input stream of the socket, okay, that I want on the standard output. Right? So create the object of runnable. That part is done for me. Step is create object of runnable. What's the next step? Create object of thread. I need 2 threads. And what's the next step? Sorry, this will be TCP. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Construct of equal. Huh? Right. See, what we are doing is crossing, right? Whatever comes from the keyboard, put it on the socket. Equals job, take from input stream, put it in an output stream. That's the thing it is doing. And in the process, do you want to see it also what's coming? I say no. Don't show, because anyway, I'm keying in, and so I'll be seeing it already. That's it. And same way, even when it is coming the other way around, and it is anyway showing on system.out, and if I put it to, it is again another putting on the system.out again. Okay, why need that false? Right? Reading from the socket, putting it on system.out. If I put that true, then again putting on system.out. double. So if I make both of them true, anything so if it is the echo server I'm talking to, suppose, yeah, because this is client, right? It depends on where you are using it. Okay, we have compiled echo, we have not compiled the TCP client. Let's compile. Okay, very quickly, yeah, we can start the, let's say, the bank server. Okay, and on the other terminal, yeah, okay, I'll come out and come here. Okay, let's go to the Java 2204 /src folder. So from here, let me run the TCP client now. Okay. Net.tcp client, host is 192.168.0.109, port number is 750. Okay, yeah, list, yeah. Fine. So we're not dependent on telnet now. Okay, you can do any command here. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, help is there. Yeah. Acha. Okay, I'll just quit. And yes, we'll have to use Control C to come out. Close connection from a client. Mm-hmm. Oh, enter a valid command is coming here. Oh. Somewhere we have system out where in bank clerk, where enter a valid command, that's coming here. Okay, so that's a mistake. That should be in the bank clerk. Yeah. No, it's the default response writer. No, default is not implemented. Equal to null. Or the help has something. Enter a valid command. Okay. It's taking the command, okay, in the run method. And here is where it has taken the command. If command is equal to null, response writer .println an invalid command. And then we have the help, and then we are saying continue. Okay, where is this? It's in the help. There was one response writer println already, but this. Anyway, okay. Fine. I'll just compile and we'll continue tomorrow now.